Hey there everybody, my name is Trudy. Many of you know me as One Grounded Angel, and this is a weekly angel card reading for the week starting the 5th of April through to the 11th of April 2021. So we're starting strong. I'm going to use a card deck called Gateway Oracle Cards, and I use this because it is a significant gateway right now. Easter is a time of renewal, regeneration, rebirth, all those words that are, meant to help us close something off and bring in the new. Here is Monday's card. Making a difference. Oh, this is very pretty illustration. My inner light shines far and wide. I think I confused shine and wide there. So this is really asking us to think about the next step for us, which is how can we be of service to the world? How can we make a difference? Now, for some of you who are time poor, the best way to make this achievable and realistic for you is to think about how you can make a difference for people in your world. Already, rather than going too out there with big scale projects. So are there people in your world who need some extra support from you, or who need you to share your story, which helps inspire them to share theirs or work on their own healing, those sorts of things. Making a difference. Maybe it's some volunteering work you've been thinking about doing. This could be encouraging you to do that. And you might be thinking, this is all well and good, but what does this have to do with my journey? And I think it's worth remembering that we're all here to help each other. That Ram Dass quote, which I know I bring up all the time, we're all walking each other home. It's really important to remember that. And also I would add that the work we do helping other people helps us too. I get benefits from every single session I have with a client. I learn new things. I get to see a shift in perspective, and of course it's very rewarding seeing them grow personally as well. And it helps inform the work that I do with other people. It helps inform my own work that I'm doing with my own healing journey. So it's all related, but you probably already knew that because it comes up all the time, doesn't it? So often what people say with a message like that, just to continue, they think that they can't make a difference because they're just one person, but we know that one person can make a difference, and so it's very, very important that we don't hold back and think of ourselves as insignificant. If the idea of seeing yourself as all-powerful is too hard, maybe you might just like to see yourself as someone who can have some degree of influence, maybe just within their own personal network. And it's not influence to change people as such, it's influence to bring more love and light into the world. What people do with that is entirely up to them. So Tuesday's card is Medicine Woman. I'm always drawn to the lightning in the background of this card. It is so strong. And so you can tell that power is a big theme with this card. Now, Ishul, I think, this is a South American, I think, Mayan goddess, known for being a medicine woman. So if you are a healer, you are contemplating stepping up as a healer, this is absolutely for you. The other thing to think about, if that doesn't speak to you, I should also say if you're already doing work as a healer, this will be encouraging you to take the next level or to continue moving forward with that. If those ideas are not for you, you might like to think about how can I take a step forward in terms of taking back power in my own life? Is there a situation where I've handed over power to other people, or I'm waiting for other people to change things for me instead of me stepping up and doing what needs to be done here? So how can I exercise my own power for my and people around me's greatest good? Can I set a boundary here? Can I say no to someone when I need to say no to them? Can I stand up for someone who's not getting a fair treatment? What can I do to make a difference? We may not be able to change the world, but we can do a lot of things that will ultimately mean something, even though we can't always see it straight away. Whoops, I just dropped this card. Sorry about that. Wednesday's card, listen to your intuitive feelings. I'm really drawn to this image. I'm not sure quite what it is. There's something about it that's quite striking, but maybe it's meaningful to some of you for different reasons. I never quite know. Sometimes my attention is drawn to something, I just have to pass it on, and people will do with that what they would like to. So listen to your intuitive feelings, fairly straightforward, listening to our intuition. Now, if I had $1 for every single time someone has told me they can't tell what is their intuition and what is not, I would be a very wealthy woman. But the fact is, everybody gets confused about this, even me, especially me. I get confused about. Is that my intuition? Did I just make that up? Is that fear? So there isn't, unfortunately, a handy formula to deduce this is my intuition, this is not. But one rule of thumb that helps me, and this may be useful to you, is that when I go inside or when I stop to think, the first message that comes up is usually not my intuition. It's usually the voice of fear. It's that knee-jerk, hurry up, get yourself out of this situation. Hurry up, do something about this. It's got a real sense of urgency, and there is fear attached to it. It's trying to rush me. It's trying to tell me I'm going to miss out on something. It's trying to tell me that I'm not good enough, that I have to make myself heard and seen, or else something bad will happen. There won't be enough for me. Of course, it's really difficult to make that assessment in the moment because you're concentrating on that particular situation. Sometimes it's only in hindsight you can see that. So often I need to sit with it a little bit longer and wait, and the next things that usually come up are intuitively guided. And they carry a reassuring tone. Sorry, there's a helicopter going overhead. Maybe that's talking about the way some of you are hovering over things. I don't know, I'm just passing it on. But I think, yeah, the messages that come up that are intuitively guided, they feel different. There's a different vibration to them. This does take time, and over time, I would say I get better at this, but I still have problems with it. So we can go in and out of this stuff. You can always ask for a sign if you need some validation that is your intuition. That's one trick, and there's tons of information about signs on my website, so I won't go into that now. And I also recommend meditation. Often it's turning down the volume in our brains that really helps those messages come to the fore. You can also do things like ask your angels or your spirit team to give you a message during the sleep, although I would say you'd want to be pretty au fait with dream interpretation before you do that, because it might just confuse you more if you don't understand how to work through dreams. So Thursday's message is detached from the situation. I love this. I love the way Archangel Michael, this card deck is all about Archangel Michael, the way he's got this sword of light here to really cut the cords between us in a situation that is no longer serving us. It may not be that the situation is toxic or unhealthy. It may just mean that we've outgrown it. And this happens a lot, but sometimes we have a bit of trouble accepting that. Friendships being a chief example. A lot of people struggle to let go of friendships even though they've clearly outgrown them. So feel a sense of loyalty to those memories, but we don't serve memories by staying in a situation that doesn't work for us. We can take the memories with us. So that's one example. What situation do you think it could be that you need to let go of? Maybe it's a friendship, or maybe it's something more low grade, like a habit that you keep falling into. Maybe you've got a habit of skipping out on exercise, and even though you know you really need to be doing that because you're feeling that your body's wanting you to move and wanting to feel more energized. Maybe there's something else you need to detach from, like a workplace or some sort of obligation that you keep getting pulled into. Step up, take power, to hark back to this message here, and really detach from it, step away. So I'm going to read you what this says. Many of you know I'm not always a massive fan of the text on these cards, but this I think is quite good. Archangel Michael, I ask you to use your flaming sword to cut any attachment to fear or drama, so that I may be centered in the knowingness that peace is everywhere within me in this situation. Sometimes we can be a little bit too attached to a situation, which makes it hard for us to separate out and see what we need to do. Some of you probably already know that I don't draw cards for myself if I'm facing a big situation very often. I have a friend who reads cards that I go to because I'm too attached. Sometimes we need to detach to get perspective. Maybe that's what you're needing to do here. Things like meditation, going for a walk in nature, those ways of clearing your energy can help you detach. The other thing I want to talk about is cord cutting. A lot of people will want to work with me in an energy healing format and say, I've done some cord cutting with, let's say, my ex or my toxic boss, but I still feel like I'm still connected in some way. And what can happen is that sometimes if we try and cut cords, you can ask Archangel Michael to cut cords for you, but sometimes if there's something else going on in your energy, you can still be attached there. So sometimes we need a deeper level of cord cutting. That's when you'd want to work with someone like me or another energy healer to really get to the heart. Is why are you still attached? Is there some codependency in your energy, some sort of wounding around what happened? Is there still anger or resentment? Those sort of toxic emotions can stop us from letting go. So it may be that the reason you can't let go of a situation or a relationship or something from the past is because there's something going on in your energy that needs to be reckoned with, brought up into the light and really seen and understood. So that's something to think about, and reach out for help if you need it with that. We all need help from other people, even especially me. I've got my own energy healer, I see, because I can't work for all this stuff on my own. So Friday, I think we're up to Friday. Yes. So shuffling for Friday now, the 9th of April, teaching and learning, very practical message here. For people who are contemplating doing some study, whether that be like, formal university or schooling, absolutely go for it. It could be informal, like a workshop or a seminar, some sort of online development session. Go for it. Sometimes this does come up around teaching, people who are being called to step into a teaching, mentoring, coaching kind of position, whether that be in the workplace, within a community or something like that. Go for it. Yes, you are ready. Yes, you are good enough. You will figure it out on the way. You don't know everything yet, but you will get it on the way. So please don't let your ego tell you you're not good enough yet. You know enough to get started. Now, the other thing is life lessons. This comes up a lot for this one. So if you're thinking, I don't really feel pulled to do any study at the moment, it's not really for me, the life lesson stuff would be for you. This situation is trying to teach you something, and maybe that's why you can't let go of it. There's something here you need to learn before you can let go. Nothing goes away until it teaches us what we need to know. So that's a lesson in itself. So thinking about, what is the lesson here for me? What am I doing that is not helping me, is hindering me, for example? How does this reflect something that's happened to me in the past? Is there a pattern here? If so, how am I going to work through this? Do I need some help with this? Do I need to do a bit more meditation and self-reflection? Self-reflection is huge when it comes to healing. So, what is it we need to learn here? Is the simplest way I can sum that one up. Shuffling the cards now for Saturday. Oops, I've dropped it again. So Saturday, notice the signs. You know how I just said I wasn't going to talk about signs? Well, now I'm going to talk about signs because I've been told to, quite clearly. So notice the signs is the name of this card. One of the big ways that the angels communicate, or our spirit team communicate with us, is by leaving feathers. Now, angels don't have wings as such. I know they're often depicted as having wings, but they don't need them because they're not human. They don't need any help they don't fly, they don't need any help. They can just move around. They're not limited by gravity or anything like that. However, they often leave feathers because they know that we think of them in regards to wings. So if you find a feather in an unexpected place, this could be it. It's a sign for you. And I would also say one of the questions I get asked nearly as often as the one about how do I recognize my intuition is the one, I haven't asked for a sign, but I keep seeing all these signs. What does that mean? It's simply reassurance. You don't need to worry. It is not a warning. It's not how angels work. They're not here to freak you out. They're here to help you. So if they're just leaving you signs, you haven't asked for a sign, they're saying hello, reminding you you're not alone, reminding you you're loved, and letting you know to keep going. You're loved, you're supported. It's simply saying a hello, and who doesn't need that? The other sort of signs that come up is seeing particular cloud formations, clusters of butterflies. Often that can be a sign from a loved one who has passed on. Remembering that loved ones are not the same as our guardian angels, although they are also around us. What's one? Music. Music is a big one. Well, for me personally it is. I hear a lot of people also say music's often used for them. There's an example I've shared in a story on my website where I've asked for a sign. As soon as I've asked for it, it's gone out of my head. I turned on the radio in the car and a song, She Talks to Angels by the Black Crowes, has come on. That's not a spiritual song, but it's a very clear sign to me because it's a song I quite like and know very well. And it's also an old song. You wouldn't expect that to be coming up on a contemporary station, but it did. It's a very clear sign from the angels. So that can be a big one. And sometimes a meaningful lyric might just jump out at you and that's what you need to know there. You've got to trust your intuition on this stuff. And don't be afraid to ask for another sign if you're seeing the signs and you don't get it. Now, something that comes up constantly with this is people talk about numbers repeating. Now, I don't talk about numbers because I believe, this is just my personal opinion, that numbers aren't significant to me. because I'm operating in the digital world as you are. I'm always looking at my laptop, my phone, I'm always seeing numbers. So for me, I'm seeing them all the time. So you can overthink it when you get to that point. So I just don't find them that meaningful. I don't pay much attention to them. They have to be really something unique for me to notice a number sequence. However, I'm in the minority. There are tons of people who love numbers and really go deep into it. So if that's for you, definitely have a look online. There's lots of information out there, but for me personally, I think we see numbers so often that the meaning has become diluted for me. It's very difficult for me when I'm seeing numbers all the time to identify what is a sign and what is just the fact that it happens to be 11:11 in the morning, because that's what follows 11:10. So use your judgment on that. I'm not saying they're not a sign, I'm just saying they're not meaningful to me, so I don't talk about them anymore. And they also really confuse people. So you must follow what resonates for you. So those are the main signs. I personally don't ask for a particular sign because I like to leave it up to the universe. If I'm going to be really narrow in saying I want to see a picture of, or I want to see a cat, and then I'm going to go looking for cats in my head because that's what I've put out there, and then I'm probably going to attract it anyway because of the law of attraction. So how do I know if that's a sign? You see what I mean? We can really overthink this stuff. So instead I just ask for a sign, I leave it up to them, and if I haven't seen a sign by the end of that day, or fairly soon, within a reasonable amount of hours, I'll go, okay, that's not for me. Don't forget to be clear with signs about what you want. I've dropped this card again. Usually I'm sitting on the ground, so maybe that's what I should have done here. Don't forget to be clear, because sometimes people don't say what they want the sign for. So they ask for a sign, but they don't say whether they want the sign to confirm what they already suspect, or whether they wanted, like they might say, please give me a sign about whether I should leave my job or stay here. And then they see a sign, but they don't know which of those things it relates to because they haven't specified. So what I do is I recommend signs be used to confirm something. They shouldn't be used to make a decision for you, because you're the one who has to make the decisions. The angels are not in charge of your life, you are. So you need to do the self-reflection, the really thinking about what is right for me. You've settled on it and you need some validation. That's okay, we all do. Ask for a sign that what you've decided is right for you. I've got this message from my intuition, please confirm that is accurate. That's all you need to do, it's that simple. Now Sunday's card, much more straightforward, play music. If you feel called to learn an instrument, this would be validation for you. If you love singing, love listening to music, do that. It's a great way to be present, to get into creative flow. It can be very meditative, and it's great for stress as well. So stress relief, I should say. It's not going to cause you stress unless you're a professional or something like that, professional musician. Now, sometimes this card comes up in personal readings in really random ways about something in particular that they're doing in their work. I had someone once who was bringing in a music program with the people she was working with. But yeah, use your judgment on what that means. If you're like, I'm not musical, just playing music can be wonderful to reset your energy, to help you enjoy yourself, maybe do some dancing, help you relax as well. I certainly use music, not in my client sessions obviously because I'm concentrating on what they're saying and what I'm saying, but certainly in work when I'm writing, doing my admin and that sort of thing, I'll use music to either energize me, calm me down, keep me focused, all of that sort of thing. So that is a very interesting week we are looking at. Some strong messages about listening to our intuition. We have the signs, and we have this one here, literally, listen to your intuition. Some of us are getting called to go deeper in terms of our spirituality and our personal journey, personal development with this teaching and learning, and also here with Ishul. And maybe even if this is part of your life purpose, this idea of bringing more love and light into the world. So I think some of us are getting a real, not so subtle push to step into our spirituality more. That's not for everybody, of course, but we can all take back our power in various ways. And that, if that's all you get from this week, that would be enough, particularly this here, learning to let go of something, moving away from something that is simply not right for you any longer. And you can do that without any resentment whatsoever. You can just make a decision to move on. It's not necessarily easy, but the alternative, staying stuck in something that's not right for you, I think is much harder. So that's it for the week. If you'd like to know more about the work I do, my website is www.onegroundedangel.com. My Instagram page is @onegroundedangel, where you can see each card go up each day. It's a great place to get some inspiration because lots of people leave comments about how the cards are resonating for them, which I personally love to read. I don't always have enough time to respond, but please keep commenting. I love to read them. And also I'm on Facebook, of course, One Grounded Angel. Thank you for being here to watch this video. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your love and support. I'll be back again next week, of course. Have a great week, and let's continue to step up where we need to step up. Take care, everybody.